Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Cambridge House Resource Conference in sunny downtown Palm Springs, I guess.
California, downtown.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have Al Korelin of the Korelin Report, a featured speaker and a man about town.
I'm not so sure I'm a man about town anymore. I am... but, you and I have been doing these conferences, Shell, for a long time. And, boy, you never stop learning, do you?
I sit with you and you interview me and we learn something. I know I'm going to learn something right now by interviewing you. So tell me, what are you speaking about at this conference?
Doing a couple of speeches here. One of them, they're basically both centered around the interrelationships between politics and investing. And I think that anyone who disregards politics in terms of their investment decision, Shelley, needs to have their head examined. The two are so closely intertwined that you have to be, I think, very well versed in both areas.
I got to give you credit because when you start bringing
what's my line of credit?
When you start line of gab, when you start to talk about politics at an investment conference, the minefields that you have to walk quite gingerly now, don't you?
You have to walk gingerly, but the one thing that I have learned, and I learn a lot from my listeners on the radio show, through our blog, etc., and the one thing that I've learned is, interestingly enough, people here are pretty much of the same mindset, and I find that to be interesting. And the mindset that everybody has is one of truly free markets, okay? And we don't have free markets necessarily, I don't think, anymore in the United States, and I think that's sad.
You could talk about it. You got a White House that may not want to listen to it.
A White House who probably doesn't want to listen to it.
And, you've got an election coming up in the United States that, quite frankly, one party's very disappointed with who they're putting up for president. The other party's gleeful. And it's not the one you would think would be.
I'd like to hear your prediction on that one, because I'm not sure who's gleeful and who's disappointed. Well, obviously, the Democrats are disappointed in general, but I think that the president, will stand for re-election, and I think he's going to win it. And the reason I think that's going to happen is because the other side of the aisle really doesn't have anybody at this point who has really galvanized the nation.
I think that what you're still seeing, here we are halfway through the season, and the political season, and they still haven't decided, even though it looks like Mitt, but there's still no commit, is what I say.
There's absolutely no commit. I would agree 100%. I thought that your comment about the president, though, and the party was very, very interesting, and that's something that I'm hearing, Shell, from more and more Democrats.
When you now bring in the investment banking world, the standing president hasn't exactly been favorable towards business. He criticizes Wall Street more than you can allow to happen when you're sitting there and you're saying, what did we do wrong?
Right.
We're providing capital formation.
Right. Well, no, I agree 100%, and I think, and I'm not being derogatory here, because there are a lot of people who believe in what I envision his agenda to be. I personally am, just because of my background, son of a couple of son of a couple of immigrants, okay, which is an important point. We never got anything from anybody other than from our own hard work, and I have to tell you, when that philosophy in the United States is over and done with, we're in real trouble, and I think we're getting to that point, Shell.
Well, when your listeners on your major radio show are concerned about their own well-being, they're I have to say, they're probably more concerned about how they're going to put food on the table than how they're going to make money buying gold or silver.
No, I would agree with that 100%. And, unfortunately, the pendulum is swinging in a direction I think that neither you or I right now totally support. But you know what? It'll be back the other way.
I think so, too. But there's a market breadth that's taking place in metals. What's your prediction? Where do you think things are headed in metals?
I think we're going to have a real strong market. And when you say metals, I'm assuming you mean precious metals.
Yes.
And I think we're going to have a really strong market in 2012. We're seeing that right now. I think you're going to see an upward trend. And I think that the disparity that existed between commodity prices and resource share prices that certainly existed in 2011, I'm pretty convinced that that disparity is going to become very, very minute, if in fact even in existence now.
Well, there's a whole lot of junior exploration companies that are hoping that you are right.
And I hope I'm right too. Shal, always a pleasure, buddy.
Now let's get some websites out here.
www.kereport.com. Join our blog. Love to have you participate. I communicate with as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah, now what we're talking about with this blog is it's coming right from Al. It's his thoughts, right? I mean, it's what's going on, what's current. So every day you can go and pick up a new feeling from you, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And my feelings are based to a very large extent on the input from our listeners. Shelley, I have to tell you, I have learned more from our listeners than I learned in 4 years as an undergraduate.
Well, you probably learn more every day from just living life.
There you go.
Right? So let me thank you for coming on.
Shelley. Pleasure, buddy.
Live. It's always good to have you out.
Great to be here.